Hey guys, what's going on? It's your big dreamer and doer G Dinero coming to you today with TA Tuesday. But first, remember, none of this is financial tax, investment advice. This is your buddy G Dinero helping you increase your financial literacy by being able to read the charts a little bit better. That way you'll set you and your family on that path to financial freedom. So with no further ado, let's jump right in. All right, well, we're going to start with the Bitcoin chart here, the daily chart to begin with. And what we'll notice is we are hovering right below this 200-day moving average. That's the bright yellow line right here, 200-day moving average. We are still respecting this downward linear regression channel that we've been in ever since, since January the 20th. You'll also note that we are basically finding support right here at around $84,000, which has a large amount of volume if we're using the VRVP or the visible range volume profile. We're still a little bit mean reverted to the downside in the daily chart. You'll see that in this evidence down here with the mean reversion chart, as well as RSI is below 50, just barely, just a hair below 50 right now. So really we're battling with this 200-day moving average. Same thing we talked about last week. There is some resistance right here at around $87,000 to $88,500. That's this pocket of volume along with the $89,000 78.6 Fibonacci level. Support to the downside would be the midpoint of this channel, which is right around $80,000. And again, we're basically battling back and forth with the 200-day moving average. If we move over here to the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, you'll note that we are still respecting the long-term linear regression, this upward linear regression channel that we're in. We're still respecting that. We almost made it to the midpoint of that channel. That's this green line right here. We didn't quite make it. We did go above the 200-day moving average and throw a solid sell signal on the confluence model. We were mean reverted to the upside. Now we're mean reverted to the downside, almost 2 standard deviations to the downside. So definitely a whipsaw over the last week. You can see that in the price action with it going up and then back down again, almost making like a perfect sine wave there. Battling around the 200-day moving average like we talked about. Again, respecting the midpoint of this channel, this downward sloping channel that we've been in, the short-term linear regression channel. We need to regain this 200-day moving average, which is right around $86,000. Remember, there's that pocket of volume between 87 and 89, we'll call it. And then once we get back up above that, then we're battling with the 91.5 Fibonacci level. Sorry, $91,500 strong support and resistance line that we were dealing with before. Solana daily chart. On the Solana daily chart, we are below the long-term linear regression channel that we had been in all the way up until basically the beginning of March. We were battling with the bottom edge of that channel. We've been below it. We actually retested. You can just see it here. We retested this red line right there that's kind of angling sideways. We retested it right here and failed. We didn't get back up into that long-term channel. We're basically going sideways. For all intents and purposes right now, we're trading sideways with Solana on a daily chart. We are still mean reverted to the downside. You'll notice it's mean reverted more so than Bitcoin was to the downside. We have been finding support at the 38.2 fib level, long-term fib level. And if we take a look again, if we look at some of these VRVP levels here on this daily chart, let that reset, you'll see this is the point of control. The point of control has basically been 150 with Solana. So that's a tough ask to get back above 150. Then 151, 152 is the 50% fib level. So this area right here, along with where the 50-day moving average is, they're all converging at the same spot. Definitely going to be an area that we're going to have to look out for, especially on the bigger macro picture. Get back up above 150. Again, support to the downside around 118. Same things will show up on a shorter time frame. Shorter time frame, we've retested this long-term linear regression channel that we were in. We failed. We did get a sell signal here on the 4-hour chart. A confirmed sell signal, trend flip down. We went from being mean reverted over 2 standard deviations to the upside to being mean reverted over almost 2 standard deviations to the downside. RSI went from above 70 to below 30. So basically, this thing went from being overbought to oversold just like that, literally in a matter of a few days. And again, you can see where we have support down here around 118, resistance starting up here at about 150 to 152. Definitely going to have to get back through that area. We are coming off of a buy signal. Looks like the trend, if I zoom in, it looks like the trend has flipped blue just barely. So green mean reversion dot, RSI was below 30. The trend, we notice all these long wicks on these candles right here. That's telling you that every time it wicked down below 125, it immediately got bought back up again. So 125 looks to be very strong support, with the support at 118 just below it. So anywhere from that 120 to 125 range, strong support. And again, the trend, you see it starting to flip back up and turning blue. Now we need to break out of this short-term linear regression channel that we've been battling with all the way since January the 20th. Tesla on the daily chart, you'll see lots of pockets of volume. So we're going to have areas along the way, like at 280, at 287, which is right around where the 200-day moving average is. Right around here at 295, 296, where the 50% fib level is, along with another pocket of volume. There's another pocket of volume at 318, which is lined up with the 50-day moving average. So you can see where a lot of these things are very much related with one another. People, institutions, larger players, a lot of times they will buy and sell the moving averages, or they'll buy and sell the Fibonacci levels, or they'll buy and sell the VRVP, the visible range volume profile levels. So it's important that we know where those are. So again, immediate resistance is now at around 287, all the way up, I would say, until about 315. There's pockets of resistance in between all of those areas. So if you're selling covered calls, those may be areas that you're looking at over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Also, if you look to the downside, strong support, we did bounce solidly right off the 38.2 fib level here, which is right around 250. So that 250 level is looking to be immediate support. Support to the downside after that's going to be around 235, and then, of course, 220 to 225 has been the floor immediately. I still think it's in play that we could get down to 175 by earnings, but that would be a long shot. I think that's a bit of hopium on my part to be able to pick up some Tesla on the cheap. If we look at the 4-hour chart on Tesla, yes, I had to claim it and put a check mark on there. We'll talk about why in a moment. But we are in that linear regression channel, the long-term linear regression channel. And if I move the check mark, you see this green line, the faint green line that's going up angled to the right. That's the midpoint of that channel. That, the 50% Fibonacci level, and the $285 level of the 200-day moving average were all right around the same place. And I said last week on TA Tuesday that we would find resistance at 285. We would hit that resistance like a brick wall and pull back, which indeed, I'm going to put my check mark back there again and we can zoom in, which indeed we did perfectly. We bounced off the 200-day moving average. We took a second run at it and we pulled all the way back down to 250. Filling this small gap that we had talked about last week that formed up Friday to Monday. There was a gap up on Friday to Monday, and I said it's likely that that would fill, and we'll go back and retest 250, so I'm going to give myself a check mark on that one. We're currently not mean reverted at all. I mean, slightly to the upside, but we're, for all intents and purposes, on a 4-hour chart at the mean currently for Tesla. MicroStrategy, again, strong level of support at 280. We came back and retested that. Not surprised because this little box right here, remember that was a gap up. This yellow box right here. And remember, we have resistance, very strong resistance at 340 to 345 on MicroStrategy. It's the point of control, meaning the most number of shares recently have exchanged hands at 340 than any other level on this chart. There's also a large pocket of volume at 295, hence why we're running into a little bit of resistance again right now. Support starts down here anywhere from 265 all the way down to 235. Lots and lots of volume that exchanged hands there. So not surprising that that's where the 200-day moving average is, which is around 247 right now. So you're starting to see how all these things are very much related. As far as the shorter term linear regression channel, you notice we made our way back down to the midpoint of it precisely there on Monday, yesterday, and bounced from that level. So it's crazy how all these things are the same, just like the 345 level was the upper bounds of this short-term linear regression channel that we're in. So everything's related, guys. This 61.8% fib level is going to be strong resistance. And I gave myself another check mark because last Tuesday I said, we're not going to just break straight through 340. In fact, we're going to have to battle with 340 for a while before we break through it. It will be an area of strong resistance, and likely we will see a sell signal there. Check mark, we hit perfectly. I mean, literally to the penny almost on this 61.8% fib level, bounced off of it. Sell signal shows up, red mean reversion dot, red sell signal, upper part of the cloud, boom, trend flips orange. So if you were looking to sell covered calls, perfect place to have done it would have been last Tuesday, right when I said we were going to be hitting that resistance and not breaking through it. So hopefully you took my not financial advice, friendly advice at that point, and either sold some shares of MicroStrategy, sold cover calls against it, or what have you. Right now, we pulled back to where? Exactly that 280 level, the midpoint of that linear regression channel. You see almost to the penny again right here. We're well above the 200-day moving average. That would be the furthest I see us dropping. If we drop it all, that's to 247. But really right now, this 280 level is a strong area of support. What are we going to battle with on the way back up? Midpoint of the longer term linear regression channel, right around 300 to 305. Also the 50-day moving average, which didn't really present much of a challenge to us before. That's at 310. And then, of course, the 100-day moving average, which is at 333, and that 344 level of resistance on the way up. Several levels of resistance on the way up, several levels of support on the way down. It's looking primed right now to kind of meander along sideways after finding support at the bottom down here. Looks like it's going to meander sideways and battle with these levels. Goal is to get back up above 345. We get back up above 345, it will not be a straight shot to $400 or $500. We'll come back and retest that 345 level, most likely, because it is the 61.8% Fibonacci level, which if you've been paying attention for the last 4 or 5 months that I've been doing these TA Tuesdays, that's the golden ratio. So hopefully you found value in today's TA Tuesday. If you did, make sure you like this video. Comment below. Tell me what'd you like best. What'd you learn today? What would you like to see more of? Make sure you're subscribed so you see these every single week and more content like mine. If you want to dig deeper into this, book a course with me. I teach a TA technical analysis and TradingView course where I go over everything TA and TradingView related, in addition to the Invest Answers suite of tools. I also have an understanding options class if you want to learn more about options. And again, if you've already taken a course with me, make sure you jump on my wait list to get on the individual appointment wait list, and we will get you going. Thanks for tuning in, and here's to you increasing your financial literacy to help set you and your family on that path to financial freedom. G Dinero, over and out.